Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to have our first video on this vehicle, which we've actually had for a couple of years, just hasn't really been driven and haven't really had the opportunity to start checking off some of the items that need to be addressed on it. But this is our 2021 Chevrolet Spark. This vehicle was a salvage title vehicle that my father-in-law purchased for my daughter, who is now has her learner's permit and will be driving soon. So good first vehicle, super low mileage. I think it had like, I don't know, 21,000 miles when we got it. Just a cheap, good first vehicle for her to start off on. Of course, when you get a salvage vehicle, sometimes you run into some little items, and we're going to address one of those today. So this vehicle was hit, according to some photos I found online, when I Googled the VIN number, it was hit in the driver's side front wheel area, front fender, the door, all that was replaced. And something we recently discovered as we started to get it out and drive it in the pollen season is that the washer tank, as you saw in the intro, has a major leak. And that washer tank is located right behind the driver's side headlight. So it's not too hard to understand what likely happened there and whether the outfit that rebuilt this car just didn't notice or didn't care. Who knows? That's water under the bridge at this point. So I don't think this video is going to get a lot of views because I imagine this is not a super common repair, but why not film it anyway? So first, let's take a look at the part. So I actually found this on AutoZone's website of all places. So, you know, I mean, you can find stuff like this on eBay as well, but curiously enough, it's a OEM AC Delco part, and it actually seems that it drop shipped from GM. So I'm not really sure what's up with that. I've not really run into getting genuine GM parts drop shipped from AutoZone before, but hey, here we are. So whopping $35 for this guy, not a bad deal. I think with tax, it was just under $40 to my door. And I was a little bit curious, will this actually be a GM part? But I'm gonna say yes. There we go. There is the GM part number sticker that you get on all new GM parts, and I will post a link to where I purchased it and the part number in the video description. It does not come with the tube that connects to this where you actually fill the tank, so we'll have to move that over, I'm assuming. And what I'm hoping is that we can just jack the vehicle up and pop this wheel off and get to it from the from behind the fender liner. So I'm hoping we're not going to have to pull the front clip off the vehicle. That would be preferred. So here we are under the hood on the driver's side, and you can see the fill cap here, and you can just barely make out the tank below. So, you know, when I first looked at it, I thought maybe we can pull the headlight out and get to it. I don't think that's the case. I think it comes out through the wheel liner because I don't see any bolts or clips from this angle. But we won't know unless we try, so let's give it a whirl. Okay, so this is pretty much your typical GM wheel liner. So it looks like it's held in place mostly with clips. On mine, I do see a mixture of clip types, probably because, again, this is a salvage vehicle, so they probably put it back together with whatever they had on hand. So we've got one of these push clips here. Phillips one here. There's another Phillips one in the back. And a couple underneath the front edge here. Also Phillips, but these are metal ones. So there's a seam in this wheel liner up here, so we may just be able to pop this out without taking the whole wheel liner out. Yeah, so as you can see up near the top of the arch, there's these clips where the two halves of the wheel liner come apart. So you can actually just pull that off and not have to remove the back half. And so yeah, now we have what appears to be full access to the washer reservoir. And yeah, I can already see this thing was pretty well crunched in the accident. So you can see all these little stress marks, and we'll look at that a little closer when I get it off. So immediately I see three nuts here. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna say that whoever put this back together knew this thing had been through it and made the call to put it back in anyway. And of course, it wouldn't be a automotive project without some 10mm fasteners, and that's what these are here. And is that all of the fasteners? All right, so there is a wiring harness. It's probably hard to see up in the top here that's got a clip on it. It is kind of preventing this from attaching. So at this point, it feels like there's another fastener, but I just went and looked up top, and it looks like there's just a groove made into the plastic that's sitting on the body of the car. So I think if we pull this back towards us and lift it up a little bit, yeah. So there is a wiring harness on top of the reservoir here that we need to try to free up. I'm not sure if we actually have to, yeah, we probably have to disconnect it. This would be a lot easier if we could get to the top of the reservoir, but it looks like the whole front clip of the car would have to come off to do that. The headlight doesn't seem to come out separately. All right, so I was able to just push the clip forward towards the front of the car, and it came off of the box. So at this point, we have some rubber hoses that are clipped into the side of the box here. Oh, I see another wiring harness clipped to the back. So I missed that. There's another wiring harness clipped to the back of the box stack here. All right, we're pretty well loose. It looks to me like we need to detach these hoses from the side of the box. All right, so that came off. I suppose that's normal. Hopefully that's not damaged. And feels like we still have yet another piece of wiring harness that is clipped to this box somewhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can pull the spout off the top of the box. So this is the spout. I just pulled that out of the top of the box. No twisting or anything required, just pulls straight out. So I was able to reach down the top of the engine bay and release yet another point where the harness is clipped into the box. And looks like we have one more area where it's just clipped in. Nope, we got another spot. All right, so We do have an electrical connection for what I presume to be the pump. But it looks like it'd be easier to just pop this out. Yeah. Since this has got to get transferred anyway. All right, so you pull it up. That makes sense. And then we have one more of these spots where this harness is connected. There we go. All right, we are out. And yeah, you can't tell me that they didn't see all this damage when they put the car back together. So there's a nice big old crack here and all the way on the bottom. And you can just see all these stress marks in the plastic. So this guy is pretty well toast. All right, so this is the little cavity where that pump was, and we do need to transfer this little rubber seal from the old reservoir to the new one because they did not include that, and that looks like that just pulls out. Get a hold of it. Yeah, so that just comes out like that, and we'll snap it into the new one. And there we are on the new one. Little tricky, but there we go. That's all snapped back in where it needs to be. So let's put this back in the car. All right, so really most of this is going to be the reverse of what I just did, so I'm not going to film it too much in depth, mostly because it's just hard to really get any good camera angles. So I've got the pump connected and the wiring harness snapped in. I've just got it kind of hanging in there. I haven't clipped everything in. I'm going to do a quick leak test before we go crazy. Don't hear anything coming out the bottom yet. I just spilled a little bit. Well, it looks like we still have a problem. As you can see, I've got a paper towel stuck in there. It is dripping from around the pump. So, you know, that little piece kind of came off pretty easily off the side of the pump, which seemed weird. So I'm guessing there's a crack or something in the pump housing. So it looks like we're gonna need to do that while we're in there. Looks like AutoZone has some replacement non-OEM pumps for 25 bucks, so we're just going to slide that in there. All right, so back from the auto parts store. Here is an aftermarket pump. I would normally go OEM, but I really didn't want to leave the car tore down while I waited for an OEM part to arrive. Not too critical of a part. Lifetime warranty, 46 bucks, whatever. So it does come with a new seal or grommet or whatever you want to call it, and more interestingly, this doesn't come off. So you remember earlier in the video that kind of just popped off, so I think that's probably where it's leaking, is where this connects. Could you glue it? Maybe, but I'd rather just replace it and be done with it. So let's get the reservoir back out of the car and swap this out. Now, unfortunately, I think we are going to make a giant mess. All right, so I'm assuming these little hoses just pop off, but we need to keep track of which one goes where. Presumably one is for the front windshield and one is for the back window. So let's go ahead and get this electrical connection off of here first. So it looks like you just release it here. You can kind of hear it click off, and then that just pulls off like that. So I'm just going to replace or pull off one of these hoses at a time to keep track of what goes where. All right. So we'll hold the pump like this so we know where we're at. This one went on to this side. And then this went onto this side. And this should simply click back in place. And it does. It's on there good. And yeah, this old pump, I mean, this just kind of comes right off, so I'm guessing it's not supposed to be like that. Likely happened in the accident. All right, we will go ahead and replace this little rubber grommet with the fresh one. Just like before, just snaps in. There we go. And let's put this in for a second time. All right, so we have it set back in there. Nothing's really buttoned up yet. I'm going to do another leak test. All right, so far, I do not see any dripping where we had the dripping previously. So the only thing left to do is to see if the wipers actually work. So I don't want to do anything real crazy because we're in the garage, but let's just see if this functions before we put it back together. Not sure if we have to turn the car on or not. Aha. It does indeed work, and for reference, you can indeed check it with the car just in the, we're with the key just in the ACC position. You don't have to start the car. All right, so now I'm going to button this up, and I'm not going to film all that. It's just the reverse of what we've already done a couple of times now, and then we'll check back at the end of the video. Alrighty guys, that about does it for this video. Not too bad of a repair. Would have been much simpler if the pump wasn't damaged as well, but hey, at least now you have a video that covers the reservoir and the pump. So, you know, it's a little fiddly on top there with all the little clips that hold the wiring harness in. Definitely be easier if the front bumper was removed, but I think it's a net savings in time to not do that and just fiddle with it. So I sure will have some other videos. I've got some other projects in mind on this little car. I think this is a great budget vehicle for a new driver. So glad to have it in the fleet and glad to finally get some stuff done to it. Hope you guys will consider subscribing. We've got lots of other automotive DIY videos on the channel, so check them out and we'll see you next time.